Assalamualaikum, my dear students. This is Shaila Akhtar, Assistant Professor English, and this class is prepared for the students of class 11, and we are going to discuss today on the topic of human relationship, and it is the title of Unit 4, and we are going to focus on the topic Etiquette and Manners, and this is the title of lesson 1 from unit 4, and our subject is English for today. Okay, my dear students, at the beginning of our class, let's read from the text and try to understand the meaning. Then we will practice how to answer the multiple choice questions and the open-ended questions. So here we have, apart from the text, and this paragraph is taken from lesson 1 of unit 4, and the title of the passage is Etiquette and Manners. So let's start reading. As a child, you must have been told to greet your elders and visitors at your home according to your culture and tradition. This sentence means that whenever we are a mere child, we are told to greet or show honor to our elders or visitors who came to our home, and we follow our culture and tradition according to our relativity. You must also have been taught to be polite in company and keep quiet while others, especially your elders, spoke. So it is a common thing that we have learned from our very childhood, that our elders told us that we should keep quiet when the elderly people talk, and we must be polite in company whenever we will be with other people. Possibly you at times grudged such schooling. The very word grudge means disliking or animosity. So possibly at that time the young people may grudge or dislike this schooling or this process of teaching. Possibly at times you even protested such disciplining. So this type of way of keeping young children in discipline, sometimes we may protested this process. Now certainly you know that you can't always behave the way you want. So by now we have already learned that we can't always behave in the way we want, and especially in the presence of others. When others people are present in front of us, we cannot behave willingly. There are rules of behavior you have to follow in a company. So when we will be in the middle of a crowd or a group of people, we must follow some rules of behavior. Now I am going to add some more lines which was not possible for me to include in the slide because of need of space. So we are social beings and have to consider the effect of our behavior on others. Even if we are at home and dealing with our family members. It means we are social beings and we have to consider the effect of our behaviors on others. So, being the social being, we have to consider or we have to think what type of behavior we should show or act in our family whenever we are with our family members or we are outside the home. So we have to keep in mind that we cannot do whatever we like or whatever we will. Now let's continue reading. We have two terms to describe our social behavior. So there are two names or terms to describe our social behavior, and the terms are etiquette and manners. So let's know what etiquette is and what manners is. Etiquette is a French word and it means the rules of correct behavior in society. So etiquette is the rules of correct behavior in society. And the word manners means the behavior that is considered to be polite in a particular society or culture. So manners may vary place to place or culture to culture because it can be good or can be bad, or a specific um, applicable manners for a particular cultural context may be considered as a bad manner for another particular cultural context. So, the word manners means the behavior that is considered to be polite in a particular society or culture. Manners can be good or bad, as I have said earlier. For example, it is a bad manner to speak with food in one's mouth. So we should not speak with food in our mouth because it is considered as a bad manner. No one likes a bad mannered person. And why we should not do so? Because no one likes a bad mannered person. Remember that etiquette and manners vary from culture to culture and society to society. That means a specific etiquette or manners applicable for one society may be considered as a bad one for another society. Okay, my dear students, now let's try to answer the multiple choice questions. The first question is here for you. That is, the word grudge refers to. That means, what is the meaning of the very word grudge? So, let's try to remember the line from the text. Possibly, you at times grudged such schooling. That means, strongly disliked that way of teaching. So, grudge means strongly dislike or enmity. So here we have the options as the synonym. The very first given word is here grievance. So the very word grievance means injustice or distress, and then the second option offense. So offense means violation of moral or social rule. Now the third option animosity. Animosity means a feeling of strong dislike. And now the very word complaint, which means fault finding. So the very word grudge refers to animosity or a feeling of strong dislike. Now question number 2. If there are elders or visitors at your home, the proper attitude towards them is to. So here we have the options again. Whatever we should do when the elders or visitors will be at our home. And the meaning of the very word does means to await or equivocate, and then accost them. Accost means it's a greeting, so we should greet them. And then avoid them, that means to keep away. And then the fourth option, shun them. Shun means also to avoid them. So whatever we will do with our elders or the visitors at our home, we will greet them. So as a synonym for the very word greet, we will use accost them. The very word accost means to greet or a type of greeting. So the answer will be option 2, accost them. Now, question number 3. What does the phrase at times mean? Here we have 4 options. So the very first option, often. Often means frequently. Then sometime. So sometime means it's a vague point in time. That means maybe one day we will do something. So this is sometime. And then the third option, sometimes. Sometimes means occasionally. And then the fourth option, hardly. And hardly means almost not. So the very word or the very phrase at times means sometimes or occasionally. Now the next question, question number 4. What does tradition mean? So here our first option is prestigious. So prestigious means highly honored. Then option 2, prestige. Prestige means reputation. And the third option is given here, oral transmission from generation to generation. And now the fourth option, unbelievable to people. So here our right answer will be oral transmission from generation to generation. Okay, now question number 5. The very word company is synonymous with, according to our text obviously. So the very first option is accompany. Accompany means join in action or attend. Now association. Association means companionship. And then lot of people. Lot of means number of people. And meeting. Meeting means an act of coming together. So according to the text, the very word company is synonymous with association, that means companionship. Now question number 6. The word schooling mentioned in the passage means. So here schooling means teaching actually, and this teaching of etiquette and manners actually starts from home. So the meaning, the first option is good lesson, giving good lesson, then bad lesson, then discipline. So actually schooling means giving good lesson. So the right answer will be option B, giving good lesson. My dear students, now let's see what type of open-ended questions may be prepared for you from these passages, and let's try to answer them. So the very first question I have shown here is, how were you taught to greet the guests as a child? That means whenever you were a child, how you were taught to greet the guests. So we can answer this question in this way. I was taught to greet the visitors or guests according to our culture and tradition when I was a child. Now we have another question here. What is the appropriate behavior when the elders talk? That means when our elders talk in front of us, how should we behave? So we can answer these questions in this way. When the elders talk, we should keep silent and not to interrupt at their talking. That means we should not interrupt at their talking. Now the next question is here. Why can't you always behave the way you want in the presence of others? That means we have learned that we should not behave according to our own will in front of others. Now the question is why we should not do so. The answer may be, we can answer this question in this way. We can't always behave the way we want in the presence of others because we must show politeness to them and we must show honor to others. The next question is here. Why can't we behave poorly even if we are at home? So here the very word poorly means without following etiquette and manners. So the question becomes, why can't we behave without following etiquette and manners even if we are at home? So we can answer this question in this way. We can't behave poorly even if we are at home because home is the place from where we learn everything. If we behave impolitely with our family members, our children or juniors will learn that, and this will keep a long-term effect on their minds. Now, the next question. What is the difference between etiquette and manners? So the answer is given in our text in a very clear way. So we can answer in this way. Etiquette means the rules of correct behavior in society, and manners means the behavior that is considered to be polite in a particular society or culture. So it is very simple and we have just quoted from the text. Now summarizing the text. So let's read the passage first, then we will try to summarize it. So let's see what are the given informations in this text. We can get here. We learn etiquette and manners from our parents, families, and various institutions such as schools, colleges, or professional bodies. So that means from where we can get the rules of etiquette and manners. We get them from our parents, from our families, and from various institutions. And what are the institutions? They can be schools or colleges or professional bodies such as our teachers, such as other important and famous personalities of the society. There are rules of behavior for all kinds of social occasions, and it is important to learn them and practice them in everyday life. That means wherever we go and whenever we go, we have to follow the rules of etiquette and manners, and we have to practice them in everyday life, though there are specific rules of behavior according to the occasions. The manners that are correct in a wedding reception will not do in a debating club. So, when we will be in a wedding reception during a marriage ceremony, we can act in a specific way, and that will be applicable for that occasion. But if we do the same in a debating club, it will not be the manners of that specific place or situation. So therefore, we have to be careful about etiquette and manners. We know how important it is to say please and thank you in everyday life. That means we can make our life smooth and pleasant saying only such specific little words, please or thank you or excuse me, and we can practice them in our everyday life so that we can enjoy the pleasant situation of our everyday life. Hope we have understood the meaning of the passage. Now let's try to summarize it. So we can summarize the passage in this way. Etiquette and manners differ from place to place. However, we have to learn them from family and institution. Different situations demand different manners. We have to practice them in different situations. The use of some polite expressions can make our day pleasant. Okay, my dear students, it's time to making a flowchart. So the question will be in front of you during your exam time in this way. Read the following text and make a flowchart showing different types of etiquette and manners. So I have used the information from the first passage from your text, which was entitled as Etiquette and Manners, and as a guidance for you, I am reading from the text aloud so that you can understand it and you can remember the information, and it will be helpful for you to make the flowchart. So the passage is here. As a child, you must have been told to greet your elders and visitors to your home according to your culture and tradition. You must also have been taught to be polite in company and keep quiet while others, especially your elders, spoke. Possibly, you at times grudged such schooling. Possibly, at times, You even protested such disciplining. Now, certainly, you know that you can't always behave the way you want, especially in the presence of others. There are rules of behavior you have to follow in a company. We are social beings and have to consider the effect of our behavior on others, even if we are at home and dealing with our family members. We have two terms to describe our social behavior. They are etiquette and manners. Etiquette is a French word and it means the rules of correct behavior in society. The word manners means the behavior that is considered to be polite in a particular society or culture. Now let's see how to make the flowchart. Okay, my dear students, the question was make a flowchart showing different types of etiquette and manners, and number 1 is done for you. So here the very first point of the flowchart is given, following our culture and tradition. So before starting making the flowchart, let's try to remember the rules of making a flowchart. So while making a flowchart, we have to write the points using the phrase. That means here we will not use subject or any finite verb to start the point, because we cannot write the point using a complete sentence. And though we are not going to use a complete sentence, we cannot use a full stop after the point. So we have to leave the points as it is, and we will not use a full stop after the point. And the word or phrases will depend upon the parts of speech, and we can use noun or noun phrase, adjective or adjective phrase, or gerund or infinitive to start the point. And here, though the point which one is done for us, we can see that here the point is written using the gerund phrase. That means the very first word following is the verb follow plus ing is used here, and it's a gerund phrase, and the point is following our culture and tradition. So following this one which is done already, which is done for us, we will make the other points. So according to the informations as far we can remember from the text we have read, let's make the flowchart. So before starting to make the flowchart, we will write in this way: a flowchart showing different types of etiquette and manners is given below. So we will start with the given point, that is following our culture and tradition. In the same way, we will write being polite in company with others. Then the next point we can write keeping quiet during elders talking. Now we can write adjusting ourselves with society, and then dealing gently with family members and others. And now we can stop writing this, showing politeness, saying please and thank you. So my dear students, this is one of the ways we can write a flowchart, the points of a flowchart. So I'm going to stop our class here today. Very soon we will be together with another class. Till then, stay home, stay safe, and let's pray for each other. Thank you. Have a very good day.